Welcome to the Muddied Waters of Freedom with your hosts, Matt Wright and Mohammed Shaker. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Mohammed, he showed up on time and I was not even out of bed yet, Shaker. I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom. I almost called us the wrong name. I am so tired. What is wrong with me today? First and foremost, I need to thank Low Tide Kava Bar for the kava that I'm drinking on this show and for the crowd of Muhammad's drinking on this show.
Cutting down on the kava, guys.
Yeah. Bula.
Bula.
Oh, somebody's watching us. It's Yehuda Remer.
Yeah, I tried commenting. I wanted to see the comment, but I hit the view now and then I turned it off.
But we need to welcome our good friend Yehuda Remer.
Yep, we've had Yehuda Remer back on in August, according to something I saw on one of these files.
Yeah. God, was that August?
Yeah, or
wow.
I think it might have been Skype. That was the last time we sent him the Murray Rothbard picture.
Yes, then that'd be right then. Yeah.
It's good to have you on, Yehuda.
Yes.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Shalom alaikum, if that's how you say it.
Alaikum wassalam. It's all good, right?
Yeah.
So, Yehuda, we're
Yes, sir.
Definitely happy to have you back on. The last time you were on, you were talking about your book, Safety On.
Yes.
The children's guide to gun safety. Great book if anybody out there hasn't read it. But we're gonna give you the lead in. I'm actually gonna pull up right here. But we have you on because you have a new book out called 10 Little Liberals, which I'll show to you. Yeah, I'm showing it to the people here.
Yeah, so we have two cameras running.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
No worries.
we've got the camera that they see and then the camera you see. But yeah, so 10 Little Liberals, very funny book for anybody out there who has not read it. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your very awesome, hilarious book? Or
Yeah. When I used to write for Ben Shapiro, I was getting more into...
Name dropping again.
I know, name dropping right off the bat.
I'll do it. No, when I used to write for him at his old website, Truth Revolt, I was getting into the Constitution. I was getting into conservatism. I was really learning about politics. And I'm a millennial, but the more I was learning about everything, I was realizing, like, my God, liberals are just insane. Like... I mean, we've all heard it before. Liberalism is a mental disorder, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, just like cowboy up, take some responsibility, and just get the job done. Stop whining like a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Trust me, the word you were about to say is totally fine on this show.
okay, there we go. Stop.
I mean, Muhammad has said much worse on this show.
I don't know. My wife and kids might be watching, so. On my part, I'm going to try to keep it PG. No, anyways, so I was writing, and I started writing the Safety On book, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a book based on like the 10 Little Indians, except it's going to go down instead of just the 10 Little Indians and then 10 Little Indians doing again, but it's going to go 10, 9, 8, 7. And I started writing the book, and after like 4 lines, I'm like, yeah, right. Like, I'm never going to become a published author. This is never going to happen. So why am I even? It's kind of like a therapeutic thing. I just like writing. Mm-hmm. So I kind of shelved it, and for probably 4 years, I didn't even look at it. And then when Trump took office, and when he was running and he took office, just the liberal meltdown was just absolutely fantastic. And
TDS, Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. And, following 8 years of Obama, where you just see these liberals just absolutely basking in his light, it was so fun to watch them just melting down. And I was like, ooh, you know what? I've come out with one book, and then, my Safety On, I converted to coloring book. Yeah. Like, okay, I have 2 books out. How hard is it going to be to come out with a 3rd book? and I found it like buried away somewhere on my computer, and I started rewriting it to kind of fit the narrative that you see today with all the things going on. And before you know it, I sent it to a few people, and all of a sudden, I had this finished book. I mean, forget the illustrations, but I had the finished manuscript. I'm like, crap, this is funny. And I reached out to my illustrator, the guy who did all my other books, and I'm like, look, this is completely different than what we've done before. Send me a sample page. And he did the cover for me. And when I saw that cover, I just lost it.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think you sent us the cover after the last time you were on. Right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent you the cover and the manuscript.
Right. Yeah, and we'll do a really good close up for anybody out there. I'm not used to using the camera this way. There you go. But yeah, so you can see that's what the artwork is like throughout this entire book. And he's right. It's just like the 10 Little Indians poem thing. And I'm just going to read like the first 2 pages.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. 10 little liberals standing in a line. Get told to get a real job. Now there's only 9. And the entire book is like this. It's so funny. It is so funny. It is one of the, as I was telling you before we started, my dad is like huge neocon, but I let him read it and he was just like, this is great. And he wanted to give it to my nephew, and both of us knew that was an awful idea. Because his parents would take that away so fast. Oh.
But it is meant for kids, though.
No.
Okay. I would not give that to a kid.
Yeah, really what throws the kids off is the 7 Little Liberals page. 7 Little Liberals. I mean, you feel free to show it to them, but the 7 Little Liberals want to become chicks, and you see 3 of the guys trying on women's clothes. And then you turn the page and said, told them that they're guys. Now they're only 6.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also the.
Okay, I get it now.
And also the 2 Little Liberals page is 2 Little Liberals went and got it on.
Yeah.
And you see them making out in bed, and then you turn the page and it says, argue about an abortion. Now there's only 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brutal. But those 2 page kind of makes it not a kid's book.
It is not for.
I feel like that should be what comes after reading the Tuttle Twins.
Right.
But yes, it was fun, and I got it illustrated, and there's that Ben Shapiro page inside. He gave me permission to use his likeness, which was awesome of him. His response, "Don't worry, I'm not going to sue you," and I still have that email. I'm going to frame it. Sides to now, that, and then one of my favorite things though is I had to try to figure out what am I going to put on the back cover, and I just took a massive hit at the NFL.
Yeah, on the back of the cover, he's got a football player kneeling, and it says, "I kneel for this book."
Yeah, a little protest in my book,
yeah.
Just a little punch at the NFL. So it was.
Loved it.
It's been a lot of fun with this book. So,
yeah, it's a great book. It's available on Amazon, correct?
Yeah, available on Amazon.
Yeah, it's available on Amazon. Everybody who watches us everybody who watches us and actually enjoys listening to what we say should buy it.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy listening, you should buy it anyway, but you won't like it. But yeah, you've got you're actually getting ready to head to Vegas tomorrow, correct?
Yes, I'm going to Vegas tomorrow for the biggest gun convention, I believe, in the world, called SHOT Show. And it's a great place to make connections to industry people. And I know, Mohammed, I sent you the new book that just came out really 2 weeks ago, The ABCs of Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try very hard to, pushing that. I already have an interview with Cam Edwards of the NRA about that book. And, I'm just going to go say, hey, I write kids' books about guns. Be my friend. Push my book type of thing. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Is our friend Antonia going to be there? Do you know?
I'm I'm sure she will be. I mean, she's been so busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll text her, and then it's like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
I get
Right.
a
Yeah.
But hey, look, you know what? I'm so proud of her for what she's doing. I love that she's taking the world by storm, and I understand why she doesn't get back to me, and that that's totally cool. So, but she's awesome, and I'm hoping to see her there. I'm gonna guess she's gonna go there, but who knows?
Yeah.
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 Yes, I see like every single one of her Facebook posts because it gets 9,000 likes.
Yeah, she's really in the last like 6 months, she's rocketed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was on Fox or CNN.
She's been on CNN like a bunch of times recently.
Is it more than 4?
Yeah. Yeah, but she's got Fox News on me, so
Yeah, she's got. Yeah, I was gonna say I know she's been on Fox.
I haven't
News,
gotten
too.
my invite yet.
Right.
Tucker, call me.
But yeah, like I see all of her posts, and she actually was on. This is gonna work so seamlessly. I can't believe how well this one's working.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually on talking about Trump's comments about the countries, the immigration deal, and Trump's comments on the countries where he called a bunch of them shitholes.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually didn't watch that piece, but I just thought it was really funny that they picked her to be on it.
Yeah. I think she. I did watch it, and she was saying she was saying pretty much what I was saying is, they are
Right.
and the comments obviously are not professional, but nonetheless they are. And that's been my point of view the whole time ever since when I heard. So like going through the timeline of when it happened, like I'm already like, man, every single time we hear, something about Trump in the media, I'm like, oh my God, someone's talking about Trump again. They're really mad about something. And like a few days before that, it was he was a stable genius thing. And I'm just like,
I'm a stable
why are
genius.
we? Yeah, and I was like, yep, yes he. I was like, I like this. Yes, he is. So, I'm always like, the media always is going after the guy for like all the dumbest reasons ever. And that gets so exhausting. Like, focus on the stuff that matters if you want to hit Trump. You're always focusing on the ice cream scoops and that his wife is wearing heels thing. And, all of it. And I'm just like, this is so... Oh, and the water, how he drinks water out of a water bottle. And I'm just like, this is so silly. And
Was it that he drinks water out of a water bottle, or was it that he used 2 hands?
He used 2 hands, yeah. Yeah, and I'm just like, this is so stupid. Why are we focusing on this? And yeah, this was all from really, like, all this started like months ago is when I gave up on like the media narrative. And I'm like one of the people that had not been a fan of Trump for a long time. Even like you get the on this day thing on Facebook, they show you your past. Yeah. He rolled his eyes. Yeah. Yeah. I see my posts from like a few years ago. I've been on Facebook since '08. So like I see a lot of my posts since then, from when I was like super anti-Republican to like my Ron Paul phase. Well, it was like
that's a really long phase. That's not, that emo was a phase for many of us. Ron Paul is not a phase for you at this point.
Well, it was like I was a fan of Ron Paul, but I really still hated Republicans. And now I'm like a Republican that is okay with a lot of a handful of Republicans now, and I'm not as much of a Libertarian Party member anymore for a lot of good reasons. But like I see my posts where like I was shitting on Donald Trump, and I was like, yeah, that's me right there. I did not like the guy. But it's getting so annoying. So like going through the timeline, like the Washington Post puts out that article that's like an unnamed source claims that at the
it was like an unnamed source familiar with the meeting.
yeah.
It wasn't even somebody that was in the meeting. It was an unnamed source familiar with the meeting, which means you're getting that third hand at that point.
Yeah. You know, they're like an unnamed source familiar with the meeting says that when they were talking about giving, so it was about they were talking about giving like what is it called? The people, the residents of El Salvador, Haiti, and I think Nigeria.
Yeah, I think those were the ones.
Yeah, giving them like a blanket, they should be able to stay here thing. They wanted to add that in. And he said, supposedly, allegedly, why do we want people here from these shithole countries? We should allow more people in from countries like Norway. And people took that as like a racist thing for some reason, even though El Salvador was there, and Salvadorians are they're white Hispanics, really. So they're, I don't know.
Well, I think it was like a racist thing against anybody that's not from Norway.
White, yeah.
White. If they don't look like me, we don't want them.
Yeah, which, I mean, he doesn't look Scandinavian to me anyway.
No.
Looks more Germanic, if anything. But I was okay with it. I love Scandinavia. I love Scandinavian people.
You love Scandinavian women.
People?
I mean, yes, they are people, but I mean, if you were in charge of the immigration from Scandinavia, I'm pretty certain it would be pretty lopsided.
Well, people claim that Donald Trump is a sexist misogynist, and he should prove them wrong by only allowing women in from Scandinavia. I think that would be a step to show them how women are very important to us in this country.
That's the equality they've been looking for.
Yeah. So it went from that to, I think it was on CNN or MSNBC. You had Dick Durbin went on and said that he did say that. I heard him say it, and they asked the other people that were there. I think one of them was Tom Cotton.
Yeah.
Which I don't like Tom Cotton, but
I don't.
Nonetheless, I would take still his word for it. He said he does not. Most of them, really, all of them said they don't remember him saying that at all. Dick Durbin said he did, and I guess I didn't know this. One of my buddies shared this. Dick Durbin has lied before about things being said in meetings that were never actually said, and I'd have to pull it up. And it was under Obama, where he lied and he said something about Obama. He even lied. He lied about something Obama said, I think, something like that. So like already Dick Durbin has this history of just saying shit. And then everybody ran with it. Like everybody ran with it. The UN ran with it. The UN was like, these are racist comments, blah blah blah. And I'm like, holy shit, you have one guy out of 6 that says it happened. It already started off weird with the whole unnamed sources thing, and everyone's fucking running with it. And then the other thought running through my head was, but they are shithole countries, you know? And, you know, what? Because you can't look me straight in the face and say that Haiti is not a shithole. Or Salvador, which has... El Salvador, in 2015, right? They celebrated, I don't remember what day it was, they celebrated for having the first day in however long that there were no murders in the country because of how much murder that happens in that country. You know? In Haiti, President Obama put out a memo, a travel memo really, warning United States citizens that no race, gender, or age is safe in Haiti because of all the kidnappings that happens and killings that happen. Nigeria and the rest of Africa is another story. And when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, it's not the nicest comment really to say. I saw nothing racist about it because the thing is that, I mean, okay, so they happen to be majority black people in the, except for El Salvador, they happen to be majority black. But that the comment itself was not about the people, although that's how people took it for some reason. Everybody else took it as he was talking about the people, but he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't about Haitians. He didn't say anything about Haitians there. He didn't say about Haitians here. He said Haiti. And it's true. Haiti has some of the highest corruption in the world, lowest poverty, lowest IQ, lowest education, all the crime. Africa. I watched this video, right? This Nigerian that's living here in the United States. He actually came out and made this video out of his car. Kind of went a little viral. And whatchamacallit?
So our guest actually just sent me a message. He sent me a photo, and it says, "We no longer call those countries shitholes. From now on, they'll be referred to as third world nations."
Yeah, third. Yep. But yeah, so this Nigerian guy definitely doesn't like Trump, and he said something. He said a lot of things that I agree with, and he said he did say something that I disagree with, and that was he said that he said Trump is a racist. If I see something that does prove Trump is a racist, I will gladly agree and call him out on it. But so far, I have not seen Trump being a racist, and that's because really, I guess I have the problem when it comes to a lot of debates and stuff is and just conversations is the definition of words, and this happens a lot. Where people don't have respect for the definitions of words. So anything is racist, right? Anybody's a Nazi. And the definition of racism to me is very important. I don't think Trump is a racist from the definition of somebody that believes in the superiority of, their race or, just judging an individual on the merits or demerits of their whole, group. I hate racism. I don't think Trump's a racist. But this Nigerian guy went through this whole thing. He's like, he said it is a shithole. And he went through all the reasons that I don't even remember, a lot of them, saying why Nigeria is a shithole. And he said, I'm only going to talk about my country. It is. And he's not wrong. I mean, Nigeria, not just Nigeria, most of Africa. Egypt a few years ago, where I'm from, made female genital mutilation illegal. It's not widely practiced in Egypt, except for where we have a lot of, I guess, uneducated and our farming community is not as educated as the rest of the country. A lot of female genital mutilation happened. And it happens really in a big portion of the continent of Africa, whether under Christians and Muslims, female genital mutilation happens. Those are shithole countries. It's true. And he was saying, if it wasn't a shithole country, would we be here? Why? Did we leave because of how nice it is? Right. No. And I agree with that. My parents came here. I mean, Egypt could be considered a shithole. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as other parts of Africa. Again, I'm just talking empirically here. But my parents did leave because of the lack of political freedoms and the shitty education system, which it is a shitty education system. People in Egypt, and this is one thing the Nigerian guy mentions. In Egypt, you'll have students that study for years to get an engineering degree, and then they're driving a taxi. And that's what happens all over Africa too.
Right.
People study for these really nice degrees where and they're really smart people. It is an engineering degree in those African nations. They get that degree and then they're driving Uber or a taxi. It's shitty, So I don't know. What's your fucking thoughts on it? Excuse my language if anyone's watching this, Yehuda's wife for kids.
Right, I was going to say, you're going to apologize for your language now? We've been doing this for over a year. What do you think, Yehuda, since you're our guest?
Look, whether he said it or not, it doesn't really make a difference to me. They are crappy countries. There's a reason, like you just said, there's a reason why they're trying to immigrate to the United States. But even more than that, which it's so just ridiculous how the liberals look for things to get upset about. I mean, granted, he didn't say it as a country, but let's not forget, Harry Reid got up there and he actually said, it's on camera. He said, my staff tells me not to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. And he goes, that during the summer and the high humidity, you can smell the tourists coming into the Capitol. I mean, he's not talking about anyone in particular. He's not talking about immigrants but he's making fun of everybody.
Everybody.
Yes.
And
everybody across the board on that one.
Yeah, and where was the liberal outrage then? I mean, like I said, I understand it could be a little different than calling a country, a shithole. But hey, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And like you said, I was never a Trump guy. At this point, if the elections, like we talked about before, if the elections were tomorrow, I would be voting for Trump. But I don't think he said it in any kind of racist connotation at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that because the left can't find anything real to try to take down Trump, anything he says is going to be pulled out of context. Like I said, whether he said it or not, it's going to be pulled out of context. They're going to lie about it. They're going to try to make him look like a horrible individual, try to get the world on their side. And, like you said, like you were talking also, Mohad, just move on.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop. You want to debate on policy? You want to debate on something with substance? I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The minute you go off on him saying that, he said it and he hurt so many people's feelings. You know what? Cowboy up.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And he actually did come out on a tweet and said he says he doesn't recall, and he probably didn't say it. And so it comes down to, do we believe Dick Durbin or Trump? Why should we believe one over the other when it comes to that? And I think it's safe to just go with it because of the history of Dick Durbin and because of how the Washington Post started off. We should just I think it's safe to assume it never happened. I
am not opposed to not believing Dick Durbin.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, normally it's like, oh, Dick Durbin said this. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, sure.
Yeah. And exactly. Like, thing is, I like you're saying, I would love to talk about actual policy. I'm still going to disagree with you. Not you, obviously. You as in, like, the general, what would be considered, like, liberal, progressive type policies. But I'd rather debate the actual, this is where I was going. Let's debate the actual immigration stuff. For example, I don't like the idea of a wall at all.
No.
I don't like the idea. I don't support it. I hate it.
Okay, Mike O'Malley, former governor of Maryland, correct? Yes,
think so.
Former governor of Maryland said, and I actually know this because of your Facebook page, Yehuda, came out and he said, the people of Texas don't want a wall. And we happen to be interviewing one person from Texas.
No, wait. That's Texas, man. Wasn't he governor of Texas?
No. He was the mayor of Baltimore.
Oh, okay. Okay. My bad.
Martin O'Malley.
Martin O'Malley.
Yeah.
That's it.
Governor.
Yes.
Not Texas.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He was the mayor of Baltimore, and then he became the governor.
Right.
Right. And he said the people of Texas don't want a wall. Now, you're from Texas. You probably talk to a lot more Texans than I do. I talk to 2 on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, look, I don't live by the border. I mean, I'm farther north, but the consensus that I've seen from talking to people in Texas, they do want a wall. I mean, they want their borders protected. They do not want open borders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah.
And walls do work. There's no question about it. Walls do work. I mean, look at Israel. Israel has a wall, and the minute they they put it up, I mean, granted, they still have tons of terrorism and missiles coming in from Gaza, but the amount of like suicide bombers and actual terrorist threats like that significantly went down when they put up a wall.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you want to debate, I don't want the wall because it just costs so much money and stuff like that. Okay, that we can go back and forth, But at the end of the day, I think a wall is very important. You have jihadi terrorists coming through Mexico and other southern border.
Jihadi, what's going on here? I'm just messing with you.
It's okay. It's okay. I was going to wear my IDF T-shirt for you. No, you have these terrorists coming, these jihadi terrorists coming through the southern borders, and a wall would prevent it. I just actually read an article today saying that they had a bunch of like special ops guys. They didn't say which branch, but a bunch of special ops guys.
Army.
Go into San Diego and looking at the different walls that have been put out there, and they said that they can't get up more than 15 feet, but it's supposed to be a 30-foot wall. So the walls were 30 feet, but they said after 15 feet, they kind of gave up. They're like, you can't get up.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know Janet Napolitano once said, you show me a 50-foot wall, I'll show you a 51-foot ladder. Is it possible? Yes. But at the end of the day, a big wall like that, I think, will be very beneficial to providing security for our country.
And I can understand your point of view, and I respect it. My point of view really mainly is the costs. And on top of that, although I just said I hate the idea of the wall, I think there are other things we can and should do when it comes to immigration. I used to be an open borders guy for a long time, and then I became more of, after somebody in the liberty community like started the whole closed borders thing, and then I watched and a lot of debates happening between libertarians online about the merits of a border, the merits of closed borders anyways. So now I'm honestly not an open border guy. I'm also not a closed border guy.
I'm a private property guy.
Yeah. So like I'm more of like private property guy. And
if you sell the border to people, if you sell the border, like the people of Texas have their border, they get to protect that border, like they get to protect that land however they deem fit.
Yeah.
And somebody walking onto their land, and I'm certain this is true in Texas. I'm going to take a wild guess that if somebody walks on your land in Texas, you're just allowed to shoot them.
Yes and no, but I hear where you're coming for, and I know Mohammed, you're a big hard rock guy, so I can just see someone sitting on their porch with a nice rifle or a shotgun, just looking down and seeing a guy, and all of a sudden he turns to the side, flips on the radio, and it's like, "Let the bodies hit the floor."
Yeah. But other than that, I think there's a lot of stuff we can and should do to reduce the amount, like reducing the incentives. There are some incentives we can reduce on people coming in here, and that includes reducing the massive welfare state. And there's other incentives that we cannot reduce because it's good for everybody, and that's like the freedom and safety of remaining in this country is better than where a lot of these other countries are. Like that would be an incentive for somebody to come here, not just the welfare. So I think there's a lot of stuff we can do, and like specifically about the comments about like Haiti, they were talking about just blanket allowing everybody from those countries to remain. And honestly, when it comes to that, I believe in a merit-based sort of immigration system. So I don't think we should just say nobody from Haiti should come here, and I don't think we should say everybody. And that's why he said that comment, because they were saying everybody, from those countries should be able to come and or stay, the ones that are here. I don't believe in that. I mean, we're in debt, and not everybody is going to adapt to our culture in the United States. Like most people that come here do. A lot of Africans that come here do. A lot of Muslims and Arabs that come here do legally. Well, actually, it's the only way really for Arabs to come here is legally. We do. We come. We want to stay here. We work hard. Whatever. But some of the ones that come here just are not good. They don't have that Americanness. We do have a culture. We do have a culture. We do have a culture here, and I'm not talking about a white culture. We have an American culture of working hard, of pulling yourself up by the bootstrap, of community work, of so on and so forth.
That's changed a lot in the last 30 years.
Yeah, I agree. But, I mean, still, the American culture is very unique and different from the rest of the nations surrounding us, except for Canada. And even Europe, we're different from Europe in a lot of ways. We're different from the Middle East. We're different from Asia. Again, looking at other countries in the world, and this is one time where I hate saying, look at how other countries are doing it, because that's what liberals are, say about, healthcare and welfare
and all that kind
but
of socialized everything.
Yeah, but look, immigration controls is a thing in the rest of the world for a really good reason.
Right.
And there is no country in the world that makes it honestly as easy as here.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Germany,
Uh-huh.
right, and they were like, no, we'll take all the refugees.
Yeah. But aside from that,
Right, but what I'm saying,
sorry.
yeah, what I'm saying is like you look at a country like Germany, and they're like, yeah, we'll take all the refugees, and then, they had a lot of problems due to them taking on all the refugees.
Yeah. Those Arabs are different culturally. It's an Eastern culture, and yes, they're Muslim too, and that has a little bit to do with it. So they're not ready to. I don't like the word assimilate, because my views on culture is a little different. I don't believe that people really assimilate in the United States. I think it's more of people with compatible ethics and morals that really is what makes the big difference, So somebody could be like my parents, because I think I talked about this on the show before, how my parents do not at all agree with homosexual lifestyles, and they don't agree with gay marriage, but because they're in this country, they respect that. They respect the gay friends, the gay coworkers that they've had over the last since '99 when we came here.
That'd be 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. So it's not like my parents assimilated, but they have that whole respect the law of the land thing.
Right.
So I don't believe in the whole assimilation thing. And so when it comes to Europe, yeah, a lot of these people are not ready to get on that very liberal, European type, culture where they moved into. I'm sure everybody after the election, a lot of the leftists probably noticed it's not too easy to run away to Canada. You actually have to have a degree, a job, a living situation, and that's really how it is in Australia, New Zealand, Europe. It's and really Asia too, all over Asia, Middle East. Everybody wants to protect the culture that is there in that country. Same thing in Israel, and I don't understand why people act like the Republicans are being so different. Then it's like they're being inhuman, and I don't believe in that.
I mean, even if you go back 20 years, roughly. Also, I just want to do a quick shout out to the Drudge Report for the anniversary of the Monica Lewinsky report, which was this past week, 20 years ago. If you go back 20 years, you had Bill Clinton, and he was saying that we need to make sure that we don't have this flood of illegals. He said that in the State of the Union 20 years ago. Yeah, and
so did I think so did a senator and maybe not a senator, but a President Obama did as well.
Yeah. At one point, yeah,
in the beginning, first term.
Yeah. And I mean, these are the the gods of the Democratic Party,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that are saying it.
Yeah.
And it's just become a hot button issue as of recent that people are like, oh, we need to accept everybody. We need to accept all people.
Yeah. Again, I'm glad my family was able to come here legally the way they did, and I'm sure everybody else is that is here legally. But no, there are problems with just willy-nilly letting any and everybody in, whether they're going to contribute to the country or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I don't know. To quote the very funny Dennis Miller,
Uh-huh.
he has no problem with immigration. Just sign the damn guest book.
Right.
And that's the thing too, like, and that's one of my problems also when it comes to Republicans. Is, I honestly believe in amnesty for a good portion of the people that are already here. Again, on a merit-based system, though, not just willy-nilly everybody. For example, the guy that shot those 2 cops, no. The guy that shot
The San Francisco.
Steinle, Catherine.
Yeah, Kate Steinle.
Kate Steinle.
Kate Steinle.
Yeah, the San Francisco one, right?
Yeah, like
And then he was let off. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got too far away from
No,
it.
you're good. But again, there was a story last week that I saw that made me really sad, and it was this guy, this Mexican guy. His family had came in illegally. He was 10 years old when they came in here.
Oh, the guy that was here for like 30 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah, and he'd lived in the country for 20 years.
He was in Detroit, I believe.
Yeah, he had his own job, married to Americans, and didn't have even a speeding ticket. When it comes to people like that, I think amnesty is a good thing, in my opinion. So that's that is one thing I really disagree with when it comes to some Republicans. Like, we need to, like you said, sign the guest book. It's good to keep track of everybody that's in here, and that's one of the things that also makes it illegal. Like, it being illegal makes it illegal. If we're able to track them, which is really hard to do when they have to do it illegally, it's such it is such a complex matter. Like, I don't want to claim to know and I don't want to claim that my way is the right way, but that's my point of view on it.
Well, here's something that a lot of people forget. They're like, how can these kids didn't do anything wrong. They've been here for 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell have you been doing for the last 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
Did you apply for a green card? Did you apply to become a citizen? If the answer is no, get out.
Well,
The road. I have no sympathy.
what
Just
some
20 years? I mean, come on. You can't say that, no, we don't want to rip apart families. They've been in the country for 20 years. They're such good people. They do jobs and, everything. You said, I don't care. You had 20 years. If you really love this place, you had 20 years to become a citizen, and you chose not to.
I will say this, from what I've, would you not think, and this may have to do with how the system really is, would exposing themselves by applying for a green card just make it faster for them to be removed, even though they're trying to do the right thing?
That's a possibility. I don't know how it works exactly.
Yeah.
Thank God I was born in this country. I'm a proud American. But like I said, if there's a process.
But you're okay with them trying, though, correct?
Okay, yeah, but here's the thing. Like, if you're telling me now, after 20 years of being here, they're worried about being deported, so they're going to now become citizens. Nope, sorry, hit the road.
Uh-huh.
No sympathy. But if you were telling me, look, it takes 10. I mean, again, I don't know the laws. I'm just throwing numbers out there.
No worries.
But if, let's say, it says it takes 10 years to become a citizen,
Uh-huh.
and at age 18, they got here at age 10. At age 18, they realized, I want to become a citizen, and now they're 28, but they applied at 18, or let's say they're 26, and they have 2 more years till they become a citizen, but they applied at 18. You can stay. That's fine. You did the right thing.
Okay,
But if you're
cool.
here for that long, if you're here for that long and you decided not to pursue it, then I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for you. You can leave.
I can okay.
Okay.
I can
understand that.
Sympathize with that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I definitely understand that. Moving on because we're running short on time.
Good.
I'm so tired. I might have to take a nap. It's not all this sleep.
I just woke up and I'm still ready to take a nap. This past week, Donald Trump came out with the fake news awards.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump came out with the fake news awards, and I personally thought that they were really well. They were good.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll read them off to talk about them.
Right, but the fact that
I thought it was going to be a bullshit thing where he's going to be like CNN's fake news, but this is some good shit he did.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I was picturing like an Oscars kind of thing, like where he was going to do most fake news story, most fake news reporter, and most fake news broadcast station, news station. I thought he was going to do something like that. Instead, he just did like the top 5 fake news reports.
Well, 10.
Was it 10?
Yeah.
Okay. But the fact that he put Paul Krugman at number 1 was awesome.
Yep. And I'm sure people like Tom Woods and
the other guy.
Oh man, I feel so bad because I've sat through his lectures.
I know. I don't remember his name right now.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
The Contra Krugman.
Contra Krugman. Yeah.
If you don't listen to the podcast Contra Krugman, you should. It's hilarious. The entire thing is just meant to.
Paul Krugman writes a weekly. What do you call those? Column? At the New York Times.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just say every reason it's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, they do this every week. And yeah, Paul Krugman said that markets will never recover from Trump. And the Dow hits...
The Dow.
Well, it's not just one record. It's hit a multitude of records over the past year.
It is the largest gain in the Dow since FDR.
Yeah. Which is honestly not saying a lot because that was... whatchamacallit? Markets had crashed. Great Depression. That's where I was going. Yeah,
right.
Economy was supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
It was going to correct itself, but it also. But I mean, still, that was 1932. I think is when the Dow started to recover.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he said this. So he said this on the day that Trump was elected, and said that because Trump was elected, markets will never recover, and now we see everything's up everywhere, including Bitcoins. Even though I don't want to give anybody credit for that, but
but yeah, I think Trump being in office has a lot to do with Bitcoin, but I think it has a lot to do with people not trusting Trump.
Yeah, probably too. Yeah,
even though Bitcoin and all other crypto crashed hard in the last week and a half.
Yeah,
but it's coming back. I hope. But yeah, so ABC demotes Brian Ross after bungled report on Trump and Russia, which I believe we talked about on our show.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah,
I'm pretty certain.
I'm sure we did.
I'm certain we did, especially since for a while we thought about changing our name to Fake News in Russia.
Yeah. Yep. And actually, I guess when Brian Ross put out the report, the stock market started going down, and then it turned out that it was false. Yeah. What else is on here? CNN falsely reported that we did talk about this one. So CNN falsely reported that candidate Donald Trump and his son Donald Trump Jr. had access to the hacked documents from WikiLeaks prior to the public, is really what this was saying, as if they were basically saying that, if I remember correctly, they had gone like special access into their emails or something.
Right. And it turned out that they did, but it was after he was already president-elect.
No.
Yes.
I believe this was... I thought it was everybody had access by that point.
Everybody did have access. The public didn't.
Okay.
Everybody had access, but he got it when he was president.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah, again, bullshit. And this goes from our... I don't remember what we were talking about. It might have been the shithole thing. Yeah, the beginning of the shithole thing is the leftist media and the mainstream media really just wants to hate on the guy, and they try to hit the guy on any and everything, whether it's true or not, and it's so annoying. I hadn't heard about this one, and you said you did, and it was that President Trump removed a bust of Martin Luther. Of course, they would say something like that,
Right.
because he's a racist.
Because he's a racist.
Well, but that stemmed out of a picture.
Uh-huh.
Someone took a picture, and the angle that the picture was taken looked like the bus was taken out. I believe someone was blocking it, but instead of looking into it, they just said, "Oh, he must have removed it because we don't see it." And
yeah. I think
someone was blocking it.
I think he moved it from where it was to a different spot in the Oval Office is what I think happened.
Yeah, but it all stemmed from a picture where it wasn't in the picture, but you didn't see the full room, so just idiots.
And if you watch House of Cards, you know that the president moves stuff around. So
right, it's his office. He can do whatever he wants in there. Just ask Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Have you watched House of Cards, Yehuda?
You know, I watched the first season,
okay,
and I loved it. But then I started writing, political websites and stuff like that, and I kind of was like, I deal with liberal crap all day. I don't need to be watching it at night.
Right.
I'd rather watch things like Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Oh my God. What are these people?
Thank you so much for that.
I would rather watch like Rick and Morty and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So
okay. I love that show.
I stopped watching it, but now I have to admit, after everything came out about Kevin Spacey,
oh yeah,
I'm kind of okay that I missed it.
Okay.
Like I don't feel like, oh, maybe I should go back and watch it. I was like, nope, not going back. Don't care. No.
I've been a House of Cards fan since the beginning, and a lot of that was because up until recently I was a huge Kevin Spacey fan.
Yep.
Loved Kevin Spacey up until recently. I really enjoyed the first season of the show and the third season of that show. I think it was the first and the third.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Was the last one the fourth? Or was the last one the fifth?
Fifth, I think.
Okay, I really liked the first and the fourth.
Yeah.
The first season and the fourth season were really good.
Yeah.
Season 2 was alright. Season 3 was good. Okay, the last one was But
Are you gonna watch the next season?
oh yeah, 100%.
You want to see? It's gonna be interesting to see how they.
I want to know how they write them out.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see that.
Yeah, I want to see how they write him out. Are they just going to kill him off, or is he going to go to prison? I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it.
I think everyone's going to be okay with it no matter what, to be honest.
Yeah, just the fact that he's not in it will be okay.
Yeah.
That's why they'll probably just kill him off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been a big fan of that show. When that came out, I was really disappointed, because that shouldn't happen to anybody.
Yeah.
In my mind, that should not happen to anybody. I hope in everybody else's mind too. But I was upset because the first thing that went through my mind was, oh, they're gonna cancel House of Cards.